Welcome to the world of freedom. Today we are going to talk about 14 Stoic tips to recognize manipulation. Have you ever felt that your kindness goes unnoticed or, even worse, is taken for granted? If yes, you are not alone in our world. True generosity often remains unnoticed or met with indifference. We were raised to put other people's needs first. Since childhood, we were told to share our help, and now we have grown up with the total desire to do good, but what if our responsiveness turns against us? What if people perceive us as an inexhaustible source of help and support in the modern world? It is harshly true sometimes. The more we give, the more we get. It's not just about time or money but also our energy and peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us balance and self-preservation. We will explore the golden mean 10, the dangerous consequences of undeserved kindness, and 4 principles of Stoicism that will help you find harmony. Therefore, if you ever felt your help could have been more appreciated, this video is your first. Too much kindness can make you look weak. Stoicism teaches us inner strength and self-restraint. But here's the rub. If you always help everyone, you may need to give a better impression. A challenge between helping and being too kind can lead to a false perception. Imagine the situation. You are always ready to help, but in the end, people around you see you as someone who can shift responsibilities. This can create an impression of weakness, and people may stop appreciating your contribution. But that's the key: start talking. No firm but polite. Imagine yourself as a person who respects his time and values himself. Setting boundaries changes the perception of others. You no longer become just a person ready to do anything. You become someone who deserves respect. Saying no to them is not just a refusal. It is an essential statement about your importance. It is a sign of inner strength and not weakness, so the next time you have pushed the temptation to say yes when inside, you want to say no. Remember this: stand your ground. This is a necessary statement of your strength and value. Unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment. Here is the Stoic truth: happiness should not depend on other people's actions. When you date why, it will prevent disappointment and help you maintain emotional stability, but let's be realistic. It can be challenging. You are being generous deep down, hoping that people will reciprocate. You want them to see and appreciate what you do, but what if they don't? This is where we get burned by our expectations. Think about it: you always take responsibility, do a favor, and help. Naturally, you expect others to do their part right. Still, when they don't, it hurts you to feel exhausted, irritated, and frustrated. Everyone is different, and Stoicism reminds us of the harsh truth that we can't control the actions of others. It's a kite with no strings attached. You gain a helping hand. Try to let go of those expectations. Don't expect gratitude or return service. The value lies in providing help rather than in what you receive in return. This way of thinking will allow you to remain calm so that the third thing happens on your way. Too much giving attracts the wrong kind of people. That's the Stoic vibe's point of view. That you radiate to attract people of a similar type. When you are positive and balanced, you attract generous and genuine people. Still, if you constantly give without stopping to exhaustion, you know that when people are in need, they are more eager to take what they can get. Imagine that you are a person who never says no. You are always there and ready to help, which sounds excellent, but soon, you notice that people around you don't want to give. They take worse than that. You can even attract those who will take advantage of the neck-OPV edges you need to be able to notice. When you overdo it when you do, you save your energy and attract the correct type of people who value what you offer and are willing to give. Think of it as a two-way street. You want to be around people who respect you and what you bring to the table but keep it from looking for you. This is how you build relationships based on mutual respect and genuine connection and not just one-sided giving. This is the way of standing, balanced, respectful, and accurate. Lose yourself for the needs of others. Stoic wisdom says, when you are constantly preoccupied with other people's problems, you may avoid your inner struggle by continually serving others. You lose touch with yourself. Your voice is lost in the noise of other people's demands, and then when you finally have a quiet moment, all the fear and pain from which you have been running coming back and taking care of your own needs is about preserving our essence of setting boundaries and exploring our path. It's not just a good thing for us, it's the key to an authentic life. So the next time you feel the urge to bury yourself in someone else's problems, stop for a second and face those problematic feelings head-on too. Be believing in what you need and want. You will find that by respecting your boundaries you will be in a much better position to help others in a healthy and balanced way. Fifth trap. Constant donation. Stoic philosophy values moderation especially. Giving back is like steering a ship in a sea of endless demands. When you give too much and too much to expect, it may seem nice. But it's a slippery slope, that's the thing. People naturally gravitate toward what? It's easy if you always take responsibility and solve problems. You allow others to stay in their comfort zone. They don't feel the need to take a step in with them, not only on them but also on you. You end up taking on a burden that doesn't belong to you, and that may look for your energy and emotional state. Stoicism teaches us to find a balance of giving but not so much that we lose ourselves. Exciting things happen when you start to set boundaries and slow down a little. They can lean on you and begin to take responsibility for their things, which is good for them and you. Seneca's powerful quote perfectly captures this idea. True generosity is giving what is needed and not just what is asked for. This quote reminds us that sometimes, the greatest gift we can give is not fulfilling any request but allowing others to realize your own needs. It is in this balance that we find the essence of true generosity, generosity that enriches everyone involved, does not drain over your life, and does not fall into a cycle of constant giving. Remember that you need not just to be generous, but to be generous wisely. This is how you help others without losing it in search. Art can breed suspicion, but Stoicism teaches us to live by our values regardless of the opinions of others and the goal of following our principles by creating a sincere and lasting reputation. However, in a world where genuine kindness is rare, excessive kindness can ironically be confused. People may begin to question your motives. They ask themselves, why this person? So generous that it's for them. It's not that you've necessarily stumbled upon a group of cynical people often. It's just a realistic reaction. People are used to seeing kindness with an undertone, so it can seem suspicious when someone who is eager to give everything and help comes along. They've often encountered people who seem kind but have hidden selfish agendas. This experience makes them wary and even skeptical about genuine acts of kindness. This does not mean you should moderate your generosity. Instead, it is about finding a balance. Be kind but also transparent. Let your actions talk about your integrity. Remember, it's not about seeking approval. It's about being true to your values over time. Consistent and balanced kindness can break down the walls of suspicion by showing the sincerity of your intentions. This is the kind of authenticity that Stoicism stands for, a virtue that stands the test of time and skepticism. Seventh is the risk of falling into. Risk of addiction. Stoicism warns us about losing balance in life, especially regarding giving. It's all about moderation and self-control when you give too much when you always. The one on whom others rely can lead to dire consequences. You may begin to cope with stress and emotional exhaustion. This is where the risk of addiction creeps in. You may find yourself overeating or perhaps playing too much, anything to fill the void left by constant giving. The stands encourage us to listen to those close to us. If a friend or family member expresses concern, it's worth paying attention to. We often fall into denial when faced with the possibility of addiction. It's easier to dismiss their fears than to acknowledge the problem. But these comments usually come from a place of caring and love. Accepting that feedback is a step to self-awareness. As we grow, we must remember that those who care about us are not trying to criticize or judge. They are caring. Sulfur attitude towards their concerns is a way of respecting yourself and your path to a balanced life. It is the practice of Stoicism in real life, using moderation and self-control to avoid harmful behavior that can harm our health and happiness. Recognizing and addressing these risks is a sign of strength. It demonstrates a commitment to well-being and adherence to the Stoic principles of balance and self-reflection. You are overcoming problems associated with unbalanced ones. Relationships. Imagine being the person everyone relies on when they're in a jam. It's nice to feel needed, right? But then you start to notice that you're not on the list of invitees to weekend dinners or casual get-togethers. You help them through their tough times, but when it comes to share laughter and good memories, you stay away as if you are good enough to lend a helping hand but not share a smile. This realization can hurt you. You are not just a helper. You are a person who also strives for fun and communication. This is a common scenario in which people often categorize others based on what they bring to the LNUPWM label. And that, in the end, you are missing out on the opportunity to become a friend equal to yourself. This situation is not just unfair. It is a warning sign. You begin to wonder whether I am valued for who I am or only for what I can do for others. Now, let's look at topic 1. Approach. Stoicism is not the absence of emotions but an understanding of human nature and wise behavior. This situation is a chance to reconsider your relationship. This is a test of your ability to distinguish who values you as a person and who sees you as a means of achieving a goal. It is difficult but essential you learn to define true friendship and distance yourself from one-sided relationships. In addition, Stoicism encourages us to think about our role in this dynamic. Are we supporting this pattern of behavior with all the talk and desires in friendships? It is about balancing helping others and being true to ourselves by setting boundaries and expressing our needs. We invite more authentic connections into our lives and attract people who value us for the whole of who we are, not just for our willingness to negotiate and mutual respect. It's about wasting their time and energy on people who value us wholly and entirely. This approach corresponds to Stoic principles, leading to more fulfilling and balanced relationships. Ninth, lack of reasonable boundaries with loved ones. Stoic wisdom teaches us to set appropriate boundaries in all life areas, including relationships with loved ones and family. The hardest thing to say to friends is that we fear offending. Dear person or seem callous based on. Trust and care aren't that right, but that's what true Stoicism says. Caring is not. Boundless dedication and skill. You are willing to appreciate your strengths and resources. Then, one day, you realize that your needs are pushing aside the plan, as he said, to help your friends. It must have its own boundaries, otherwise, we are alone. We will need you, friends. The key point is not to go to extremes. We are not discussing complete abandonment. Help is about learning to lovingly but firmly designate your bottom line. You can promise less, but within your power. For you, or if a relative wants you to help with repairs for the whole week, explain that you can devote the weekend to this. Convey your position calmly and with respect. There is no need to feel guilt or shame. After all, isn't it better to help a little less? But from the bottom of your heart, rather than out of a sense of duty and resentment, as Marcus Aurelius said, it is better to refuse. When you can, give something. Give and then regret and hate. Practice this skill gradually, starting with refusals of tiny things or non-urgent requests over time. You will feel more confident to set boundaries in serious matters. The main thing is to come from the heart and remember that taking care of yourself is also a manifestation of love only for yourself and your loved ones. They may be offended at first or not understand you. But if this relationship is destined, Rennie brought from the beginning a mature relationship where the needs are respected and respected each other. This is a manifestation of true historical wisdom in interpersonal relationships. 10th is an underestimation of personal time. Personal time is one of the greatest. However, gifts given to us by life are time in the bustle of everyday life and constant seeking out. Counts the teachings of careful relationship to time and its rationality use in our time permanent. It's easy to fall into the trap of running endless obligations. We react to every request we agree to as an unnecessary meeting, and as a result, we discover that real life passes us by, like spoken Seneca or duty. Ask yourself a question. Is this worth my time and attention? Learn to value your hours and minutes like this, just like you. I appreciate the money spent. Time cannot be returned. Give up secondary cases in favor of what makes a difference in your life. Life is short, and no one knows how much time we are allotted. Appreciate every day and fill them up. Don't waste deep meaning on anything that you can say together. I haven't lost a single day since Seneca, and there is a genuinely Stoic approach to time as the greatest gift of life. Now, let's look at the methods that allow you not to give others take advantage of your strategy first. Mastery of the art of speaking. Know for balanced life philosophy time, and they advocate the conscious and balanced distribution of these. This is where resources come into play. The power of no to say no is not effortless. Refusal is a declaration of self-respect, and recognizing your boundaries is understanding that not every request or demand deserves yours. Yes, many of us are accustomed to perceiving no. The problem is that we are overloading, and we agree to what leaves us depressed or offended to speak. No, it's not pessimism. Its practical wisdom is to protect your well-being and concentrate your efforts where they matter most. Start with practicing saying no in situations that do not require significant yay. Understand that every time you speak no, you're not just refusing the request. You make a choice. How to spend your life. You stand up for your time and energy. It's not selfishness. It's self-preservation. Remember that ability to speak no. This skill needs to be developed first. It can seem uncomfortable, but with practice, this will be a powerful tool for maintaining balance in your life. Having mastered the art of saying no, you regain your freedom and protect yourself from excessive stress or exploitation, which is fundamental. Step to life that matches your values and priorities according to. In Stoicism, self-analysis is the cornerstone and is about understanding. Your emotions and reactions are fundamental. Maintaining your balance is listening to your feelings, which tells you whether you are doing too much. Give stances that do not suppress emotions but encourage their deep understanding. Start by observing how you feel when you help. For others, generosity should ideally bring satisfaction and joy. This feeling is akin to walking on clouds. But if by helping you feel yourself exhausted, offended, or exploited, a signal that something is wrong, these feelings are your inner compass, and they tell you when it's time to reconsider your boundaries. If you constantly experience negative emotions after helping someone, this is a sign that the act you are giving costs to you. It's more expensive than it should be. To implement this strategy, create moments of reflection after helping someone. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Am I energized or exhausted? Do I feel appreciated or used by this self-reflection? Not associated with feelings of guilt or self-condemnation. This is honest self-esteem, recognition, and respect for your feelings, not selfishness. A form of self-care. By listening to your emotions you can make adjustments to yours. Giving money may mean setting limits, saying no more often, or choosing who to whom more carefully. And how you help. A Stoic approach to self-reflection will help you find the balance between helping others and taking care of yourself. Strategy number 4. For energy vampires in Stoicism, discernment and self-discipline are key virtues, especially when it comes to identifying relationships and distancing yourself from those who deplete your energy. So-called energy vampires are people after communicating with whom you constantly feel exhausted, overloaded, and emotionally exhausted. Energy vampires are often characterized endless complaints, pessimism, and a tendency to exaggerate problems, and their presence can significantly sap your mental and emotional reserves. The Stoic approach to such relationships is not about severity but wise insight. It involves recognizing some people, no matter how hard you try to help them, they may not change or benefit from your support. They are not necessarily bad people, but their influence on you well-being can being extremely harmful to such people. It is important to set firm boundaries if, after communicating with someone, you constantly feel worse than ever. This is a sign that you need to reconsider the relationship. This does not mean you need to cut off communication with the person or become abruptly. Those who are indifferent to their problems need to limit the impact of their negativity and protect their emotional health instead. In practice, this may mean limiting the time you spend with them and the support you offer. Even giving up relationships if necessary. Remember that Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control other people, but only your reactions to them. By choosing where and with whom to invest your energy, you show self-respect is paramount. This strategy is based on setting aside time and space. It's about making time for yourself, for activities that bring you joy and relaxation. These moments are vital, whether it's yoga, drawing, or just a cup of tea with music. Treat this self-care time as an appointment for your well-being, just as important as any. If you have other commitments on your schedule, make it a priority to meet them effectively. If you can take the time to do these rejuvenating activities, it is essential to take this practice seriously and schedule it regularly, be it daily or weekly. And now the most important someone. It's okay to say remember your obligations to yourself. No, it's not that you don't want to cooperate or don't care about yourself. It's about respect. To your own needs, you can be polite but firm, explaining that you have obligations to yourself if you want to attend the meeting and offer help at another time. Make it clear that your willingness has its limits. Remember that according to Stoic respect, this approach will help you maintain health, the balance between washing others and caring for your own needs. Stoic wisdom teaches us that balance is key in all aspects. Life, and generosity is no exception. We give too little and we may seem selfish and stingy. And if we give too much, we deplete it. Self-care. Always remember, when you are not sure whether to give or not, the word no can become your main ally. If you found benefit in our video, please like, subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. May your path be stoic and full of wisdom. See you soon.